Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vacharam Pangulam Hayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 2, verse number 32. Brahma Paramam Shuddham Sata Bhatma Sanatanam Vigarya Yatapashandam Daivam Boyatra Bhutara Brahma Paramam Shuddham Satam Bhatma Sanatanam Vigarya Yatapashandam Daivam Boyatra Bhutara Brahma Paramam Shuddham Satam Bhatma Sanatanam Vigarya Yatapashandam Daivam Yo Yatra Bhutara
Brahma Paramam Shuddham
Tadbrahma Paramam Shuddham
Tatam Vatma Sanatanam
Satam Bhatma Sanatanam
Vigarya Yatapashandam
Vigarya Yatapashandam
Daivam Yo Yatra Bhutara
Daivam Yo Yatra Bhutara that Brahma,
Brahma
Veda,
Veda
Paramam,
Paramam
Supreme,
Supreme
Shuddham,
Shuddham
Pure,
Pure
Satam,
Tatam
of the saintly persons,
the three persons
Vartama,
Atma
Path, Sanatana,
Sanatanam
Eternal,
Eternal
Vigarya,
Vigarya
Blasphemy,
Blasphemy
Yad,
Yata
should go,
Pashandam
to atheism,
Atheism
Daivam, deity,
Deity
Vaha, your,
Your
Yatra,
Yatra
where, Bhutarad,
Bhutara
the Lord of the Bhutas.
Lord Bhutara
Translation purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. By blaspheming the principles of Vedas, which are the pure and supreme path of the saintly persons, certainly you followers of Bhutapati, Lord Shiva, will descend to the standard of atheism without a doubt. Further, Lord Shiva is described here as Bhutarath, the ghosts and those who are situated in the material mode of goodness are called Bhutas. So Bhutarath refers to the leader of the creatures who are in the lowest standard of the material modes of nature. Another meaning of Bhuta is anyone who has taken birth or anything which is produced. So in that sense, Lord Shiva may be accepted as the father of this material world. Here, of course, Bhrigu Muni takes Lord Shiva as the leader of the lowest creatures. The characteristics of the lowest class of men have already been described. They do not bathe, they have long hair on their heads, and they are addicted to intoxicants. In comparison with the path followed by the followers of Bhutarath, the Vedic system is certainly excellent, for it promotes people to spiritual life as the highest eternal principle of human civilization. If one decries or blasphemy the Vedic principles, then he falls to the standard of atheism. Once again, translation: by blaspheming the principles of Vedas, which are the pure and supreme path of the saintly person, certainly you followers of Bhutapati Lord Shiva will descend to the standard of atheism without a doubt. So these are the curses and counter cursing, which is going on for many weeks. This verse is spoken by Bhrigu Muni, Bhrigu Muni, and he is cursing all the followers of Lord Shiva, headed by Nandishwar. This is very nice that there are many, like the way our acharyas explains, many things have a contradictory meaning. Many things. Like here, um, Brigumuni is calling Lord Shiva as Bhutarat, who all the Bhutas follows him in a way to decry Lord Shiva. And then Prabhupada says Bhuta also means all living entities, or one, all living entities follows one person, and Prabhupada describes that he is the father of all living entities. We say that Lord Shiva and Durga are the father and mother of the universe. The reason it is described like that is because Durga is Durga. She is the in charge of all the material elements, and all the living entities are transferred from Lord Vishnu into the womb of Mother Nature, and Mother Nature is represented by Durga. Very interestingly, yesterday I was reading one of the purports Srila Prabhupada mentions. Common people think Durga as the external energy of the, and then Prabhupada says, very, this is, I mean, very nice. Prabhupada says, actually, Durga means, Durga means the, Durga may refer to the Yogamaya potency, and Durga may refer to Mahamaya potency. And then Prabhupada gives an example. Prabhupada says many acharyas have commented that Durga means Yogamaya, and she may also mean Mahamaya. It depends upon with what mood one is playing. And then Prabhupada gives an example of how the gopis worshipped Durga in the form of Katyayani, but there she was represented by Yogamaya. And Prabhupada says that most people think Durga refers only to the external energy of the Lord. So because Lord, all the living entities are transferred from the womb, are transferred from through the glands of Lord Vishnu into the womb of Mother Nature. That's why she is called the Mother of the Universe. Here we see that Bhrigu Muni, his mind was very disturbed. Bhrigu Muni's. I was thinking, whatever conclusion one makes, I was thinking what we can learn from this verse. I was thinking, whatever conclusion we make, when our mind is disturbed, we should not believe those conclusions. And here we see that Bhrigu Muni, he was like very angry with Lord Shiva, and he was like finding fault in Lord Shiva, and whatever was coming in his mind, he was speaking. Can we think of some examples from scriptures where somebody's mind was disturbed and they spoke something which was actually they should not have spoken, but they spoke because their mind was disturbed? Yes, yes, thank you. This is the past time. Daksha's mind was disturbed, so he found fault in Lord Shiva and he criticized Lord Shiva. More examples. Huh? Shringi. Shringi mind was disturbed and he found fault in Maharaj Parikshit. Although Maharaj Parikshit has no faults, it was actually Yoga Maya potency. But because Shringi mind was disturbed, he made the wrong conclusion. That's why whatever conclusion we make, especially when our sadhana is not good or when our mind is disturbed, those conclusions not be correct. And when we act on those conclusions, we become further incriminated. Some people say, Prabhu, I was inspired in this way. No, we should have discrimination of what is coming from disturbed mind and what is actually coming from Krishna. Something that comes from Krishna is only when we are very deeply absorbed in our connection with Krishna. Then the divine inspirations will come. Otherwise, how do we know if this is the voice of the false ego and the mind and the intelligence like that? So more examples of somebody whose mind was disturbed and they acted on their disturbed mind and created a havoc in their spiritual life. Diti, uh, her mind was disturbed. Huh? Durvasa Muni and Amrish Maharaj. Yes, he misconcluded, misunderstood, and then he paid a heavy price. I was also thinking from Chaitanya Charitamrita one was Ramchandra Puri, and his mind was disturbed and he found fault in Guru. And then his mind became further disturbed and then he found fault in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I was thinking another example of Hari Chandran. This example comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. This this is a pastime of when uh, Rath Yatra pastime in Jagannath Puri. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he saw Jagannath, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited deep ecstasies. And it is said that his hair stood like needles. uh, and he was jumping very high. Um, and then he would crash down. And then he would start running here and there. Nityananda Prabhu would run here and there to catch Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Acharya. When he saw Mahaprabhu Nityananda Prabhu running here and there, Advaita Acharya said, Hari Bol, and then he was like, Onkar, and then he was running behind them. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and other associates are exhibiting this loving pastimes, then so that nobody could come near to Lord Chaitanya, uh, there were three circles formed around Lord Chaitanya. So the inner circle, um, Advaita Acharya and others. Then the second circle was like Shivash Thakur and the associates. And the third circle was Marat Pratap Rudra, and he was holding hand of Harichandra. This way, there was a third circle. So then um, everybody was very eager to see the ecstatic dancing of Lord Chaitanya. So Shivash Thakur was completely absorbed, and Chaitanya and Maharaj Pratap Rudra was completely absorbed seeing the dance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Hari Chandan, he was not able to see that Lord's dancing because uh, Shivash Thakur was in front. So Hari Chandan is the minister under Maharaj Pratap Rudra. So he pushed Shivash Thakur. And Shivash Thakur was actually Shivash Thakur came like, and then he became fully absorbed in seeing the dance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Harichandan again pushed Shivash Thakur. And then Shivash Thakur again became little angry and then he neglected. And then again, multiple times, Harichandan like, and then because Harichandan wanted to see the dance, so Shivash Thakur became angry. So Shivash Thakur turned back. He looked at Harichandan and he gave him a tight slap on his face. Chapra Maria. It is. So Harichandan is the minister. Harichandan mind became very much disturbed. And Harichandan now wanted to, like, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kudda hoya. He became very angry. Then he was about to Jai Shri Radha Gopijana Vallabha ki Jai Shri Prabhupada Prabhupada ki Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Then he was about to react to that Chapra Maria. And Maharaj Pratap Rudra noticed because he was holding the hand. So Maharaj Pratap Rudra said, Bhagyavan, you are so greatly fortunate. You are touched by the sparsha, touched by the hand of a devotee of the Lord. I am not so fortunate. So in this way, we see Maharaj Pratap Rudra, the mind was very peaceful because he was a great devotee of the Lord. So he didn't lose that discrimination, and he was able to guide those who are following the right direction and could avoid so much disaster. But Harichandra mind became disturbed. So in this way, and then after this, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after dancing for a while, and it said very deep ecstasies Mahaprabhu was exhibiting. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela comes, the ecstatic dancing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And first Mahaprabhu divided the devotees into 8 groups of Sankirtan, and each of them were carrying two mridanga players and four kartal players, and one lead dancer and one lead singer. And then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to dance, then all of them they came together, and then they all made these circles. And there are 32 mridangas there are 16 mridangas and 32 kartal players, and there is the whole group of devotees, and they all are, and then they are chanting, and then Mahaprabhu is like in deep ecstasy. Then Mahaprabhu took all the devotees, and Mahaprabhu went at the back of the chariot, like at the far end. And then Mahaprabhu started using his hands, and then he started enacting a drama, which not many people could understand. Which so he's moving his hand in a way based on his thoughts and emotions. Like as Mahaprabhu was feeling ecstasy some pastimes, so he was enacting the drama. And when he was enacting the drama, then Jagannath will go far away and Mahaprabhu is enacting the drama. So Mahaprabhu was left behind. Then Jagannath would stop. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come to external consciousness. He would see that Jagannath has And then Mahaprabhu would come closer. And then when uh, uh, Mahaprabhu came closer, when Jagannath saw Mahaprabhu, then again Jagannath started to walk. Then again Mahaprabhu goes in ecstasy and then in enacting drama. Then again Jagannath will stop when he would not, when Jagannath would not see Mahaprabhu. Then again this just kept on happening, the competition, and Mahaprabhu always won the competition. Krishna Prasad describes. And after, when Mahaprabhu came out of the external, like this drama, enacting drama, then Mahaprabhu went into a mood of sweet ecstasy. And previously it was a wild dance. Then Mahaprabhu went into a mood of sweet ecstasy. And then he told Saru Damodar Goswami, Saru, and you sing. And Saru Damodar started singing a few verses. And that those verses, it is in that verse basically is the verse spoken by Srimati Radharani to Krishna. That you are the same Krishna and I am the same Srimati Radharani, and these are the same fragrance of Malati flowers. And the same forest of Kadamba, and it's the same moonlit Chaitra nights. And but I still, but it still doesn't feel the same. That I still don't feel that ecstasy of love that I used to feel in Vrindavan. And um, then Mahaprabhu was like, this time it was a mellow dance. It was more like complete absorption. And Mahaprabhu is listening to these songs. And then Mahaprabhu composed one song where he refers to river Yamuna as Reva, and the tree as, there is, I forgot the name. So you remember that verse? Mahaprabhu started. You remember the verse? Like, Vatasi tree, yes, sorry. On the bank of river Reva and under the Vatasi tree. So when Mahaprabhu started reciting that verse, same verse, which basically means, uh, Srimati Radharani says that I wish to go back on the bank of river Reva, which represents Yamuna, under a Vatasi tree, which is like either a Kadamba tree or Tamal tree, or however the pastimes would happen on the. So then Mahaprabhu would recite that verse again and again and again. And except Saru Damodar Goswami, nobody could understand. Saru Damodar Goswami was so close to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that when Mahaprabhu brought all the associates together, like 32 Mridanga players and 16 Mridanga players, 32 Kartam players, when they all came together, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Saru Damodar, you take care of all the devotees. And anybody who would come to recite, read something, Vallabhacharya came to read something for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and um, first Saru Damodar Goswami says, let me read it first, and then only it will go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when he read, then he said, it's all bogus. So in that way, Mahaprabhu would not read anything unless it is sanctioned by Saru Damodar Goswami. So Saru Damodar Goswami has a very key role in Chaitanya Charita. Saru Damodar Goswami also, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, Saru Damodar Goswami went to Varanasi. And then he took sannyas there because he became little angry that Mahaprabhu left and took sannyas. When Mahaprabhu left took sannyas, he left. They were childhood friends, and then he also left to Varanasi. Then when he took sannyas, then after some time, by the time Mahaprabhu came back from South India, Yatra, then Saru Damodar came. So 2 years he just waited in Varanasi because he was angry that why didn't Mahaprabhu take sannyas? He'll also take sannyas. Then Saru Damodar went and he said, my Lord, forgive me. Please accept me back. I was not happy that you took sannyas. So that's why I also took sannyas. And then again they joined back and became very close. So the reason I'm sharing is because this day for yesterday was disappearance of Saru Damodar Goswami, and also the Rath Yatra. I was thinking, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu departed in the month of March. In the month, when did he depart? We don't know. No mention. Like for the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. No information given. So it is said that very soon after that, then Sarup Damodar also departed. And Sarup Damodar Goswami departed on the day of Rath Yatra. That was day for yesterday. It was, so whenever Rath Yatra happens, that's the day. Sarup Damodar Goswami was feeling a separation from the Lord. Because Rath Yatra without the Lord is like no yatra at all. So without the song. So he decided that I don't want to survive here. And when he decided to leave, then Raghunath Das Goswami went into like a mode of separation. And he decided, I will also end my life. But how do I end my life? He was contemplating. So he thought, I will go to Vrindavan and I'll climb on Govardhan and jump from Govardhan. So thinking probably that time Raghunath Das Goswami didn't know that we don't climb on Govardhan. Later on, Ruben Sanatana Goswami, they told, you are the only one who knows the past and have witnessed the past in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's when Lord was there, everybody was in the center. Lord was in the center. Everybody was attracted. When Lord left, it all became empty. Same thing happened in Navadip Leela also. When Mahaprabhu went and took sannyas, then Advaita Acharya went back to Shantipur. Shivas Thakur went back to Kumaraghatta. Haridas Thakur went and joined Shantipur Advaita Acharya. And everybody like scared. Same thing happens in Ekachakra Dham also. This is when the Prabhu left, then the whole Ekachakra was abandoned. And later when Janma Mata went with uh, Veerbhadra and the son of Veerbhadra and Parmeshwari Thakur and the whole Janma Mata went there and there's only one Brahmana sitting there in Ekachakra and it was all deserted. Then there's Brahmana asked, then Janma Mata asked Brahmana that why nobody is there. I think this was the first visit of Janma Mata. Probably this is after Mahaprabhu's disappearance on her travels. Janma Mata went there. And then this Brahmana said after Nitai left, nobody could stay here and everybody deserted. And then she asked them, what makes you stay here? And she said, I have faith that Nitai will come. I'm just waiting for Nitai to come. And then this Brahmana took Janma Mata and others and she said, this is where he was born and this is his home and this is where he would take bath and this is where they would play the childhood pastimes and this is the deity that he installed. And in this way Janma Mata was built in deep love. And went to it. So we see there are many examples that when the mind is disturbed, we should not trust and we should not. The best thing when mind is disturbed is, and the mind produces many thoughts because of this person, my suffering is there, or this is the cause, this is the cause. That time we should pray to Krishna. Krishna, please let me give me the ability to tolerate. And the thing is, it just creates a new loop. If we act on that mind, one positive example I would like to end with is the example of Maharaj Parikshit and Bull. This is amazing. This became one of my recent favorite verses. One of my recent favorite verses, although it keeps on changing. So this is Maharaj Parikshit went to Dharma and cow were, and Parikshit Maharaj and Kali was there. So Maharaj Parikshit asked Bull, what is the cause of this? And she was standing on one leg, three were broken, and Kali was hitting, Kali was hitting the fourth leg. And Parikshit Maharaj asked, tell me the cause of your suffering. I am the descendant of Arjuna. Even if demigod are the cause of your suffering, I will defeat even them. Nobody and Parikshit was that time real Kshatriyas, but they would go in the front. Son, tell me who is the cause of your suffering. So first Bull said, whatever words you are speaking represents your lineage perfectly well, that you are representative of Pandavas. But no one knows what is the cause of my suffering. He wanted to hear once from Bull. Can't you see he is hitting my fourth leg and he is making me suffer? So he said, nobody knows the cause of my suffering. Some says karma is the cause of one suffering, and some says it's the mind who is the cause of suffering. Some says the material nature is the cause of suffering. Oh king, you are very intelligent. You were certain for yourself. What is the cause of suffering? And Bull just decided not to say anything. Bull is dharma. So in dharma, in the Shastra, there are various reasons. So Bull gave all the reasons. And Bull said, you can ascertain. I don't know what is the cause of my suffering. So Maharaj Parikshit was amazed. And Maharaj Parikshit spoke a verse. Maharaj Parikshit summarized the Bull's teaching. And that was, I loved that verse. Maharaj Parikshit said, from your answer, I could understand that you are Dharma himself. Otherwise, nobody could speak such words. And then Maharaj Parikshit said, I understood what you said, that anybody who points out the cause of the suffering will become entitled to the suffering of the aggressor. Anybody who points out, I will read the verse probably, then it will be authentic. Which chapter this comes from? Really? Um, uh, Parikshit received the age of Kali, I think probably. Huh? 116. I think it goes, I think the conversation happens in the next one. Mhm. The king 22. The king said, O you who are in the form of a bull, you know the truth of religion and you are speaking according to the principle. And then he summarized, he said that the destination intended for the perpetrator of acts is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. You are no other than the personality of religion. So he said, you are Dharma himself, because what you are summarizing is you are you are speaking according to the principle that the destination intended for the perpetrator of irreligious acts is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. Shall I read again? The destination intended for the perpetrator means if somebody is an aggressor, somebody is a sinner. So destination what is intended for that because he did something wrong. So destination intended for the perpetrator of irreligious acts is also intended for one who identifies a perpetrator. Is also intended for one who identifies a perpetrator. Means one who points out that he is the troublemaker. Then that person who points out is intended for the same suffering that a troublemaker is intended for. The king said, O you who are in the form of a bull, you know the truth of religion and you are speaking according to principle that the destination intended for the perpetrator of irreligious acts is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. You are no other than the personality of religion. So I'm like, and I was just contemplating on it. Then I could not understand. Then I heard one or two classes on this verse. Then I think this was explained in this way by um, Nasibu Prabhu's spiritual master. Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj. He describes that if somebody points out he is the cause, he is an aggressor, he is a problem maker. Anybody who points out get the same destination. Then one who points out. And I heard recently the story of the Brahmana. He performed the king, he performed some yajna. So many Brahmanas came. And after the yajna, I don't know where the story coming from probably, but when the point is relating to this, when I link that story with this. So the king performed yajna, and during the yajna, fire sacrifice, a bird was carrying a dead snake. You heard this. So the dead snake fell into the yajna. And because it became a sin, because yajna became contaminated, I heard, like from what I've heard, that all the Brahmanas who participated in the yajna died. So later on, Yamaraj and what's his Chitragupta. And Chitragupta. Yamaraj asked Chitragupta, so Chitragupta, who will get the suffering for killing of so many Brahmanas? The bird is just carrying a snake and by mistake missed, fell into the yajna. The king performed yajna for good reason. The Brahmana performed yajna for good reason. So where does the sin go? Whom do we consider sinful? Then Chitragupta said, uh, Dear Yamaraj, wait for some time and it will be revealed to you. Wait for 1 year, it will be revealed to you. The next year, again, the king was organizing the yajna. And the Brahmanas were coming and they were looking where the yajna is going to happen. So the Brahmanas asked a old lady. They said that, where is yajna happening? Then which yajna? The king who is organizing the yajna. So the old lady said, oh, the king who killed all the Brahmanas in the last year in the yajna. So Chitragupta said she gets all the karma because she pointed out that the king is the cause of the suffering. So all the suffering of killing the Brahman, she is going to get. So I was considering that with this, that anybody who points out the perpetrator is intended with the same destination as the perpetrator. So I was thinking, just churning this concept. Then I was thinking, yeah, when the mind is disturbed, there is always a reason why we try to point out to somebody as the cause of suffering. And that time we must all let pray to Krishna. Krishna, my mind is disturbed. And that's why I'm causing these people as the cause. And best is to not think about why the problem is coming. And just take shelter of Krishna. Krishna, please help me to how do I act in this situation? And let Krishna help.
When you read again, whether all of justice is no knowledge of you to go to
I'll read it again for you. The king said, O you who are in the form of a bull, you know the truth of religion, and you are speaking according to the principle that the destination intended for the perpetrator of irreligious acts is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. You are no other than the personality of the teacher.
Perpetrator is the one who has done it.
Aggressor.
At this point, you have to be aware. And Madhvacharya actually proved it different. I'm not done it. Madhvacharya says, you find out that, like the previous way to say, any the other person is
Will be,
not like, never concept if you call spending a state.
uh,
I mean, this thing and this are very different.
like Prabhupada brings the perspective in the purport. Prabhupada says, if any reversal comes, then a devotee takes it God grace. Prabhupada brings from that perspective. So one thing is the reversal, this person is responsible. So like Brahmaji says, my own karma is responsible, and Prabhupada says this is God's grace. So in that way, a devotee does not point out somebody else as the cause. A devotee thinks that I deserve.
Can you repeat what you said?
Like a devotee does not point out
The principle, like someone points out.
somebody who points out that he is the cause of my suffering, then he will get the reaction, although that person actually did some mistake, then he will become responsible for that. I mean, I'm trying, that's why, like,
Even like in colloquial language also, right? Growing up in Canada also, there's a like saying, like the Gade Mata, they would say, Mardo Papa Ardo Baile, means that whoever has performed the sin, Ardo Baile, whose mouth they speak about it or point out, they get that sin. So again, this is growing up, right? Colloquially, basically, I think it's to shield the propensity uh, to find faults and to
At this point, this is a little extra.
point negative.
For example, he's a thief, and you say you're a thief, and you get the reaction of the theft, that is very high. You know,
Yeah,
not that
critical.
it says in Mahabharata. Like the previous story, actually what happens, that snake, one lady is carrying a knife, the Garuda is carrying a knife, he is carrying a snake, the snake's found in the forest, and it falls in the milk. She sells the milk because King wants to make sweet rice and feed all the Brahmins. So, doesn't know, so they all eat and they die. So, who is responsible? Who is responsible? He is not responsible. So, I'm not not responsible. So, whoever has what is that? Imputable. As the reason for it. So this is the same story for Ekadasi also. So, but anything is this is fine. Madhvacharya says in Mahabharata, then we have not done it. Somebody says somewhere, for example, leveling allegations. Then what happens? You get that other then this one, for example, all the judges, then you feel much of that my question. I know, but speaking. So we are on. Prabhupada calls it. No, seriously, no, actually, no. Judges the one who decides. Finally, is the one who is done. And judge should get every sin.
I was thinking from the perspective of if we are the victim, and then if we point somebody as a cause of my victim, then we get the same reaction. But judge is more like a neutral. Like here, bull was actually the victim. Bull was suffering. And Maharaj Parikshit asked the bull, who is the cause of his suffering? Bull said, I don't know. Bull said, you decide. Shastra said these are the various causes. You choose which one is the
I
fault.
don't think you mentioned the victim only mishaps to victim.
It doesn't say so. Here it's like,
Straight blanket statement.
but so then that's how I took it when I was reading the purport. Then when a devotee gets any suffering, he takes any benefit or any curse as God grace.
Brahma says my mind is very
Uh, uh,
not even common.
Not even demigods. I was just like contemplating on it and hearing that, okay, what is Maharaj Varish trying to conclude? And based on this statement, he said, now I can say that you must be Dharma. Just a bull, who is actually Dharma, but acting just a bull. And Maharaj Varish is so intelligent, he concluded with the bull believing. If you are speaking this, you are Dharma personified.
Sorry, see that over English story.
There are no cascade of statements there.
Really, but then you always say that when this is happening, then it is their karma which is bringing them, and all the quality. Because again, we are going to Shastra, no, like the karma is enacting, which is a true principle, or it's like there is something happened, like somebody came to Krishna house and some bitter experience they got. So we asked Kalakanta, Prabhu, what do we take? And then they said, seems like Krishna is another plan. So then he was not thinking that this person's fault or this person's fault. He said it just somehow didn't work or somehow Krishna is another. So he was like his mentality was like it's not like who is at fault and who is right. It's just like somehow Krishna is another plan. So in a way, everything a devotee sees as of God's grace. Like oh, Krishna has a plan too. One thing what happened Prabhuji is like the neighbors when we were doing Mangal Aarti, the neighbors called the cops. We got a good amount of fine. So they were giving a lot of problems. So then we were telling this neighbor, I said, looks like you're crazy man or something. And then we asked Prabhuji. Then later on we decided to go to the basement. Renovate the basement, go to the basement. Then Prabhuji said actually Krishna wanted to go there, and he was just an instrument. So again, he was saying that also like, okay, Krishna has a plan there. So then I didn't see him pointing to anybody. Like all like God's grace, God's grace. So Prabhupada is mentioning, sees everything as God's grace. So just chanting this statement. This.
The Chitta Prabhupada said that they not had a fight with his wife in 30 some years. When you introduced us to Peter Prabhupada and he told all the Michigan devotees, I've not had a fight with my wife in 36 years because I don't see that it's her fault. Whatever is happening is an instrument of mine. Something mentioned. Maybe that reason.
Just by seeing the perpetrator, you will get that that is very
I think probably Dharma can do it.
Social media is one news, Facebook, everybody is a newspaper. Very good.
The lesson is different. Somebody is very exalted about it. Even if he is doing something wrong, in between him and Krishna, you have nothing to do. That is understand. Here, just by telling he did it,
So it's not conflict resolution team, somebody, then they will get all the shit.
and that's another.
What?
It's from conflict resolution.
Like whatever happened in this, whatever the problems, whoever, right? They're,
Not only that, but sannyasi fell down and he will analyze.
that's
Then we
all.
are all ready.
Oh, that's a very dangerous service. When I got one or two emails, I said, I don't want these emails.
No. So, Christ's purpose is calling spade is not a problem. But if you level an allegation against somebody who has not done it, that is a problem.
So then how do we understand if, say, somebody comes and mistreats me, suppose. Somebody comes and mistreats me, suppose. Then we are taught to see like, it's my karma coming back, like Brahmaji's prayer. Or this is God's will, and he is just an instrument. So again, we are taught ki don't condemn that person. He, like, we give the example of letter postman.
You have two hats for it. For example, like in Brahma temple, individually is okay. You are running the temple. Actually, I don't know because here, Prabhupada says, and I heard directly in Nepal is snake, Prabhupada says, be very careful. So now, how do you manage, how do you handle it? Prabhupada is running an army.
So it's like victim, then we don't. But if, like you said, like the judge, and if things are happening, then judge is impartial, judge is not attached, and judge wants to make conclusion based on the evidence presented. And judge so then judge and just trying to channel.
Wrote an article on this long back, I remember. He said 4 spectrums of vision of a person who's seeing something. And he said on the highest, on one level, it's foolishness where you're seeing some devotee smoking cigarette and you're saying, no, this is all transcendental, he's not. On this spectrum, you're seeing some person doing something wrong and you associate him fully with that and other bad qualities. He said one thing is foolishness, other one is grossly sinful, which is wrong. Then he said, next level to that is you are seeing a person and you are seeing the bad activity he's doing and associating the person with the bad activity and thinking that, okay, this is wrong of this devotee and finding fault. He said that also is wrong for a devotee. We should not see it that way. So highest, lowest if I see a problem, then I see all the other faults of he is doing this more than what reality is. Next level, he said, he's doing something wrong, and then you're associating the devotee with the bad activity. He said that is Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, right? Sadhu, you should never say any fault because Sadhu so that also is wrong. Then how should we see? He said the level we should see is that this person is associating with this mode, and this mode is making this devotee act in such a way. I don't want to associate with this mode, but thinking, knowing what is right, what is wrong, but not thinking wrong about the devotee, just understanding that it's a temporary covering. That is the vision of a devotee. But if you go one level further where you see, no, that is right, it's transcendental, this is the Leela of Krishna or something, that is foolishness. So he said you have to go to that. So the whole article was structured based on 4 levels of vision and how it is third one. Third one is associating the modes of the material nature, which is covered the devotee, and understanding that the modes implicate the devotee to perform activities which takes him away from Krishna. So I should not associate with that mode. And I should not whom to associate, whom not to associate with, but not thinking this devotee is wrong and having that mentality of associating smoking cigarette. That's an example. But the lowest one is then thinking other bad qualities also that you've not even seen, which is very, so basically the aptitude is based on that. I don't know. I was just thinking of this finding fault.
I like this answer. And I like this answer.
That's very good.
Nice.
Or on the other end, we see something which is totally wrong, and we think, no, no, he's devotee, he cannot do that. Kirtanamara, so many things have happened in this world. So then if we think that and associate with, then that is foolish.
Actually, there's a lecturer on this way, also. You go to the hospital, Maharaj is very large, he actually after in the after department. My leg is no, no, your hands are good. Your face is good. My leg is good. No, I'm not able to, I don't need to thank for my leg is broken. Actually, one time I was Shanti, and he was, we both, I am a yoga, I was Shanti, here this. No, no, I'm not able to, I can't find for it. No, your face is so beautiful. I'm suffering, my leg is broken. So, no, he needs, that's why it's called purpose, it's calling spade a spade is not wrong. What is wrong is, he has not done it, but if you, in order to damage the image, you have to do some person, that is the one. You see, actually, I'll go to hell actually.
I think this chapter, I felt like this is a punchline. Like in this chapter, it's like
He's stolen, just for telling, he's done it.
identify, just identify.
Even in the mind.
I tell you guys, you think you will not be able to say it. So,
But Bull didn't speak, so
I just,
we'll end it here. Vrindavan Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If I spoke anything wrong, please forgive me as everybody said. Then,
yeah.
Thank you. Wonderful.
thank you very much.